Happy Monday, everyone. Cameron is making breakfast this morning. He wants to make French toast, sticks, and eggs. And I'm going to enjoy my coffee and just assist him. Say breakfast time.
Breakfast time. Breakfast time. Mama!
Afternoon, everyone. Yes, so you saw breakfast. We had pizza for lunch. I made pizza and everyone just ate and cleaned up, and now it's let's see what time it is. It is 1:25 right now, so everybody's full and doing their own thing. But I'm going to get ready to start on not dinner this early, but dessert. I'm going to make an apple cobbler with vanilla ice cream. So good, because it's, you know, like a fall dessert. And then tonight for dinner we're going to have smothered chicken, and I'm still not deciding on what size I'm going to pick, so I'll just decide once I start what would go good with that. But yes, so that's what we got, so let's get started. Hey guys, there's been a food delay. We're gonna get up eventually and make some food, but this little guy started running a fever, so I'm having to nurse him back to health right now to get him to feeling better. Then I will start dinner. You sick? You are? Oh my goodness. You're so perfect though. You're so sweet. Hey guys, so I finally got little man feeling better and he is walking around. He did take a nap, so now we're going to start dinner. I'm going to do my dessert first so it can bake and have time to cook and set out before I start on dinner. Okay, so I have 7 Granny Smith apples that I diced up into cubes. You can slice them in slices, whatever you prefer. So you'll need Granny Smith apples or some type apple that's sour. It could be the Walmart brand. I just had Granny Smith, and so that's the ones that I will use. But I have used the Walmart brand or the store brand, just the sour, more sour apples. Okay, so of course I'm going to cook this in a half a stick of butter on top of the stove with a half a cup of brown sugar, a tablespoon of vanilla, teaspoon of cinnamon, a pinch of salt, and that is it. That is it for the mixture, and you cook it for about 3 to 5 minutes. You don't want to overcook it or make it mushy because it is going in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes or until completely done. So you just want to kind of coat and tenderize the apples. Okay, so I'm going to move the apples to the side and show you the topping. We are making more of a cake topping because that's what I prefer. I like for a cobbler to have more of a cake texture than like a biscuit texture almost, or I wouldn't even say like a biscuit texture, like a pie crust texture, because the biscuit texture would be a little bit firmer than a cake texture. Okay, so you will need 1 cup of AP flour, a cup of white sugar, and 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. You'll need, of course, 5 tablespoons of melted butter, 3/4 of a cup of evaporated milk. You'll need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And I'm looking outside at my kids. They're digging it. Diamond, go tell them to stop. Look, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm interrupting. You can't see it, though. But they're out there. They're doing something they know they shouldn't be. And you'll need 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I am so sorry. And so we're just going to throw that all together and mix that up and then pour it over our topping. But first, we're going to go ahead and cook our apples. So this is how our apples should look. Still firm but tender. Smells so delicious. So good. I'm going to go ahead and pour it into my casserole dish. Okay, and then our topping, I'm just going to drizzle it all over. And of course, you can make the same recipe and use a different type fruit if you don't want to use apples. I'm using apples because it's just fitting for fall. But you can use peaches, you can use pears, you can use strawberries, you can use whatever fruit. Blackberries, blueberries. I've made, in the summer, I've made a peach and a blackberry cobbler before. With fresh peaches. And they turn out so good. Yes, so this will go in a 350-degree oven for 30 to 35 minutes or until puffy and golden. So on to the main course for the smothered chicken. What I'm pairing with this smothered chicken is homemade garlic mashed potatoes, some King's Hawaiian rolls, and this Prince Edward medley. I'm just gonna roast it off in the oven, and that's gonna be our sides. So I've already seasoned, well, I already kind of patted out my chicken breast because they were thick. I cut them in half, but you still need to kind of pat them out because we're pan searing them. So just get your meat mallet and kind of let all the aggressions out. Don't let them out too much to where you burst the skin off the chicken, but just enough to flatten out the chicken. You'll need about a cup. I'm using 2 cups of flour and then a 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs because I'm making a lot of chicken. So that is all, but I seasoned my chicken with these ingredients. I use paprika, parsley, onion powder, celery salt, black pepper, garlic powder, and I also used a little bit of chicken bouillon. That beeping is my mashed potatoes going off. And then for, of course, the veggies, I've got some portobello mushrooms. You can use whatever type mushrooms you want, but I'll just use portobello mushrooms, a whole onion, and 2 bell peppers. So we're gonna start searing up this chicken, and then we'll saute the veggies and make our gravy and stick it in the oven and let it simmer, and then we'll be eating dinner. Frying up the last batch of the chicken. This is the chicken. Looks so good, smells so good. Our potatoes are ready. I'm gonna start on those in a second, but this is our cobbler. Look how just that cinnamon just made a cobbler, and look how soft and pillow it is. Sorry for my ashy hands. What I'm gonna do right now is, you don't have to do this, but I'm gonna do this. I melted some caramel sauce, and I'm just gonna drizzle this on there. Usually I love to use the dulce de leche caramel, but of course Aldi doesn't carry that, so I'm just using what I do have. And it'll still be delicious. I cannot wait to get into this. Oh my goodness, with some vanilla ice cream. Oh yeah. Cash is over here, right beside me as usual. Okay, that's the way it looks. Oh my goodness, it's so good. That is our dessert, so we're just gonna set that to the side and we're gonna start on these mashed potatoes. All of our chicken is fried, and the remaining of this oil, I'm gonna throw the veggies in. So our veggies are looking so good into our mixture. Now I'm gonna add 1 14-ounce can of low sodium chicken broth. And this will start to thicken up because it already had flour in it from the chicken. Sauce has been simmering. It looks so good. Our veggies, it's brown gravy. Now I'm going to add some heavy cream. I add about 1/2 cup of heavy cream. I'm just going to mix that up. And to taste, you can add whatever you need. Salt, pepper, garlic, whatever you think that you may need. It's all about your taste. And I'm gonna let this simmer for a few minutes, and then we're gonna cover it over the chicken and put it in the oven for about 20 minutes and let it simmer over the chicken, and then serve it with mashed potatoes or whatever you want to serve it with.